there, Kaleidoscope Klan. How's everyone doing? It's Mariposa Maát, and tonight I was just really compelled to come on to address how serious the situation is in the world. And I mean, I know that with, the economic changes and all that, a lot of people are feeling it, but I'm not even talking about economics. I'm talking about the way that the world is being run by all of these maniacal, competitive men. And it's like they're racing to beat each other. And in reality, we need to cease and desist a lot of the programs that they've created. It's actually putting us on a road to destruction. For example, we have the whole Elon Musk thing with all the satellites in our atmosphere, just outside of, in our atmosphere, where it's actually dangerous because it's turned into like pollution. They're all over the earth, and they're being used to track people and all these different things, get information, which also is like something that they need to get people's consent about. Like, no one gave them consent to put all this stuff in the air. Also, chemtrails. The air that we breathe is very dangerous now because of the nanotechnology that they use. The metals and the different toxins are going right into our skin. And they have their reasons for it, but we never gave them consent for that. And in the long run, we're all going to pay for their short-sightedness. If they are short-sighted, if they're not doing it on purpose for whatever reason. Another issue is Fukushima. I have been very alarmed at the fact that when I talk to a number of adults in the world, they don't know about Fukushima, about the nuclear emergency that's been going on since 2011. And I mean, that is really when I started to feel like humanity could possibly be erased from this earth, just from, their being irresponsible and how they're using these technologies. For those of you who don't know what Fukushima is, please educate yourself. But I will say that on May 11, 2011, there was an earthquake that created a tsunami that hit the nuclear reactor in Fukushima, Japan. And when it did that, all of the electricity had gone out, and so there was a meltdown, meaning that usually they keep the nuclear energy cool in order for it to be held in containers. And so when there was the meltdown, then the nuclear material just went straight through the containers. And also it destroyed the way that the nuclear reactor things are held. Like, there are lots of little cells and things inside and all this stuff. But anyway, to make a long story short, it is still not fixed, and they have been putting the runoff in the ocean for years now. In fact, there is somewhere where you can track it. I've looked at it myself, And it shows that the nuclear waste from Fukushima has been hitting California now for some time. And so it's no wonder that the animals, in the Pacific Ocean have been, had come up dead. Remember in 2012, that was a year after. And they were acting like it was, for an unknown reason, why all of these animals are just coming out of the ocean dead. But not only that, they haven't even stopped selling the fish in Japan. They're very well known for their seafood. They haven't stopped selling the fish, you guys. They're serving sushi that has nuclear waste on it. And what's even more concerning is, that we don't really know what the real situation is. Japan and the company TEPCO that's been handling it, or not, they're reporting however they like, and there's no way for us to know really how bad it is. But we do know it's bad. We do know that they haven't fixed it, and that every time they try to, they back off because it's too dangerous, because it's possible that if they get in there and tinker around, that they can make everything blow. So the last thing I saw was that in August, they had tried again with a robot to go in there, and they just wanted to take a little tiny sample from the hundreds of tons of fatal nuclear material that's in there, and they had to stop for whatever reason. But one would think that the world would be so concerned about it that they would cease and desist from all the nuclear programming that they have, but they're still trying to create more nuclear sites and nuclear programs in order to support all of the AI stuff, because they're saying that they need to have that much energy and power to move forward with AI. But it's like, is it that important to move forward with AI? Haven't we advanced enough for now? Like, maybe we should stop. Not maybe. For sure, we should stop until they at least can rectify the situation in Fukushima, and they can ensure that an earthquake couldn't create another situation like that in any of the other plants, right? But it is this desperate competition that these people in different countries, have, these men specifically, to beat out the others and be more impressive, to outdo things. And it's just getting out of hand. Like, competition can kill us if people do not have balanced perspectives that actually take the whole into consideration. So, yeah, this is what was on my mind this evening, is that we cannot continue the way things are going. And I'm not just being an alarmist. I'm just saying that people are getting too complacent with the foolishness. They're getting too comfortable with allowing people who we know lie to us, who we know are doing things that are very unhealthy for us, to continue to be leaders. So that's just food for thought. Again, if you've never heard of Fukushima, please look it up, educate yourself, because it's a very serious situation, and I've been very amazed at how ignorant adults have been. And I'm not trying to say that as far as putting down the people, because it's not in the media. The media doesn't inform the people, and that's intentional, so that they can get away with things that they shouldn't be doing. Because if the people really understood how serious Fukushima was, they would force the leaders to reprioritize, their to-do lists. We need to put advancement on the back burner and look at taking care of what we already have so that we're not setting ourselves up for complete destruction. So that's all I had to say. I don't know. This is the kind of stuff I think about all the time. This is why I feel safer in Mexico than the United States, just because the United States is trying to push things so fast, and they are violating the people without their consent as far as the things that they put in the water, the food, the air, and all that. Not that Mexico is perfect. Mexico is, it's a national entity, and they are all corrupted on some level, of course. But yeah, I do feel much safer here. Another thing that's good about Mexico is they just outlawed GMO corn. That's huge. And if you don't know about how dangerous GMO corn is in America, look up Tyrone Hayes and the drug atrazine, the pesticide, and how it makes people change sex. I'm not just saying it. Just look it up, okay? It's on Democracy Now! In 2011 or 2012 is when I saw it. And that blew my mind, and it's in corn products that are not organic. So that includes corn cereal, corn chips, corn syrup, corn, which, so many people just eat, like if you go to the corner store, people get snacks that are made out of corn a lot. And to think that they have chemicals that make you change sex is very serious. And again, nothing against gay people, but did we give consent? Do people know that? That's important, right? But of course, there's definitely an agenda to feminize the world so that we can be completely dominated by world leaders and not fight back. So anyway, that is all I will say. Normally I keep it light, but these are very serious issues, and it's not something that only a few of us should be thinking about. This is the kind of stuff that all responsible adults should be pondering and looking for the answers to. All right. So thank you, Kaleidoscope Klan. I hope that, that might have sparked some of you to research further some of the issues that are imminent in our society. And this is Mariposa Maát. Until next time, I'll encourage you to continue to embody your sacred transformation. Until next time, peace.